An interview with a woman who used to work for a company that bought fetal tissues from Planned Parenthood.
A former employee of StemExpress describes how her coworkers often took fetal parts without consent at Planned Parenthood offices in Fresno and Stockton.
If there was like a high-gestated fetus, I had witnessed there was no consent signed and these women didn't know that it was getting taken.
The FBI seeks Senate documents about Planned Parenthood's baby body part scheme.
The FBI has requested unredacted documents that abortion providers gave to a Senate investigation into the possible illegal sale of fetal tissue and body parts.
Our findings made by any Senate investigation, any subsequent referral, sufficient evidence for the Justice Department to bring charges upon any party guilty of violating federal law.
Verifying the findings of the Congress could provide a basis for charges.
It was stealing baby parts. You have to use a consent form. You know, the patients, when you consent them for the donation, you have to get the form.
The abortion patients have to give permission for
They have to give permission, yes. Yeah. And, you know, I think that's really important. You know, you don't just go and, you know, donate blood or anything.
Without signing a consent form
without signing
first,
a consent form. It's just basic logic. And if there was like a high-gestated fetus, I had witnessed there was no consent signed and these women didn't know that it was getting taken. It was stealing baby parts.
So you're saying sometimes if there was a fetus that was especially high gestation, and we're talking above 15 weeks, above 16 weeks?
Probably 14 to
14.
17, 18.
14 to 17 or 18. And so it's a higher gestation, it's particularly valuable body parts or particularly intact body parts. And so some of the other StemExpress technicians would actually just go and take whatever the body parts were that they knew they needed to fill orders that day, even though the patient who'd had that abortion had not signed the consent form to agree to a donation.
Exactly. And there were a couple times to where I had consented a woman, and some women were comfortable with it, and they thought it was good, and it made them feel better about their situation, but some were really, really creeped out. There are things on that form that it didn't make sense. On the form, there's two things that concerned me. It said
the StemExpress procurement technicians would use a Planned Parenthood form to get permission from the patients to donate their fetal tissue after the abortion.
Yeah, it says right here, before I was shown this consent, I had already decided to have an abortion and signed a consent form for it. A lot of these women have not done that. They don't know yet. They're still sitting in the waiting room. They haven't signed anything. It's terrible, and this is a bad form.
Did you guys have any kind of special HIPAA training for patient confidentiality or anything? Anything like that to qualify you or to make sure that you would be, I guess, professional or even compliant with all medical regulations, like working inside Planned Parenthood, working inside of medical clinics?
Some of the we didn't have any HIPAA training. We were aware of it, and I was aware of it because I'm an actual California licensed phlebotomist. No one else was.
Yeah.
You
were the only phlebotomist among the
only phlebotomist.
But you were not the only one to be drawing blood among the procurement technicians.
All of them did.
So Jessica said it doesn't matter, even though we're not phlebotomists, we're still allowed to draw blood.
Yes.
Wow.
I actually witnessed her at the Fresno clinic, and the head medical assistant, he came into the bath lab and he said, "Hey Holly, I heard you're a phlebotomist." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, I have a patient, I can't find the vein, can you just help me find it?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course, where do you want me to go?" And Jessica stopped me, she's like, "I'll go do it." So she went in there, and it was a patient getting prepped for a procedure, and she finds the vein, and she started an IV. That's out of scope of practice. That's legal. It would be illegal for me to start an IV. And they let her do it.